Hello everyone. The Infinity Saga, one of the greatest culminations of superhero movies in the past decade. A great marker of the end of the 2000s to 2010s. As we may all know, the MCU has approximately 3 film phases before concluding it and making it a saga. The studio chose the very obvious direction every studio was going and went with the whole multiverse trend. Instead of immediately diving into that, I think they should have took their time. Yes, I know the whole quality over quantity speech has been done over and over again. However, I'm not talking about exactly that. Although they do need to slow down just a little bit, and they are, so go off, I guess. The main point I'm trying to make, if you haven't seen it in the title, it's to elaborate and expand the MCU in an alternative way. For example, instead of pulling the full-blown multiverse trigger, if you wanted to really introduce more characters to the audience, we could still introduce them, have our Lokis, the what ifs, but not make it a Captain Carter show, like 3 seasons in a row. You can expand the roster of characters within the MCU and not name the saga just yet, slowly revealing certain characters in the post-credits scene as not themselves. During some films, people aren't acting the way they usually do, eventually revealing the big issue, the Skrull invasion, titling it The Invasion Saga. I think personally, with great writing and plot building, this would have been the perfect segue into the phase of the MCU post-Endgame, with the occasional small plot lines for individual heroes and interplating them with connected movies and shows like, Thunderbolts or maybe a Dark Avengers. That's kind of 50-50. And yes, that includes adapting similar plot points of the actual comics and prior to the big films, giving Nova a solo movie, including Captain Marvel as a post-credit scene, rather than a sequel Marvel's film. Now this Nova film will play out along the lines of the first few issues of Annihilation. Guardians 3 would obviously still happen a lot sooner to involve Drax in the plot, segueing into the 2-parter Avengers movie. The lineup of films and shows will be a tad similar to what we currently have in phases 4 and 5, but the stories will be tweaked in various ways. Not in order, we would have a lineup like WandaVision, Loki but only with 1 season, Falcon and Winter Soldier, but instead making it a movie, What If, Black Widow but with a different plot, and Silver Sable being the main marketable villain rather than Taskmaster. In this magical timeline, it's either fix Iron Man 3 to have Ben Kingsley as a great adaptation of what a modern Mandarin would be like in that scenario, but that didn't happen. I know this is going to be a reach, just a little bit, but hear me out. Hear me out. It might be a little bit of a rough one to digest for fans. They might be confused. They might have the same exact outrage as they did when, the whole She-Hulk thing happened. Or I don't know, what's currently going on with Captain America, which is crazy, but all right, Anthony Mackie's the GOAT. Iron Man 4. Yes, an Iron Man 4. Serving as the final Iron Man film, being a soft reboot as Robert Downey mysteriously returning and having PTSD of the final fight against Thanos, being a husband, a father, but only a businessman part-time this time. As things return to form, his files from the original time travel during Endgame were hacked and put up for ransom. During this time, this mysterious villain, obviously being, you guessed it, the Mandarin, threatens to make time travel easily accessible to him, and this is only for the reason to see his wife again and bring her back into the modern current timeline. Obviously, he would not have any clue this would mess the timeline up, and Tony would have to explain this after the first fight, yada yada, eventually leading into the final battle, where there's a lot of tension. Iron Man has to defeat him, not kill. We can't do that just yet. The Mandarin is a GOAT. The Mandarin's name and reputation after that battle has been completely tarnished. So he uses the Liar Ring and combined with the Remaker. Oh yes, We're gonna be using comic accurate rings. We ain't playing around in this fictional multi MCU saga. All right, we're tapping in. We're locking in with the comic accuracy. Okay. He uses these 2 rings out of the 10 in order to sway the entire country of China under his wing, climbing his way and becoming the president of China, having various resources on his side in order to find another way to get his wife back again. Leading in to the Shang-Chi film, which obviously would be a little bit more, different, but I think that would have been a great segue into it. Honestly, the way this is looking, this could have been like in MCU what we had now. But hey, I mean, stuff happens. Continuing on with this list, we would have Moon Knight with 2 seasons, Doctor Strange 2, written a bit more differently, No Way Home, Werewolf by Night, Blade. Yes, Blade, an actual finished Blade instead of a delayed Blade for 7 years. A different Thor, Guardians, Ms. Marvel, Hawkeye, She-Hulk, a blue Marvel movie, Black Panther 2, Eternals, etc. Now, it may be difficult to sell the big bad. However, I think it still could have been pulled off right under the Russo brothers' direction. Cement Annihilus and Super Skrull as a great fight for the Avengers and all factions across the MCU, expanding the cosmic part of the franchise, which is the main goal for this saga of the MCU, this fictitious saga, if you will. With Secret Invasion splitting many heroes apart, yet again, I know, not being able to fully trust who is who, with a plot line along the lines of Secret Invasion, the show, but obviously taking way more inspiration from Brian Michael Bendis' run of the Secret Invasion comic. It can lead directly into Annihilation. Theoretically, by this time, you can introduce the Fantastic Four, serving as a segue into the multiverse, whether it be along the lines of the First Steps movie that's coming out, or them genuinely being the first heroes, yet lost in a pocket dimension after a big battle. With the climax either being them coming to help or a post-credit scene. I think either way, it could be done pretty greatly, honestly. Then eventually leading into the multiverse saga, just in general, or Dark Reign, or Devil's Reign, or honestly any event from Marvel Comics. I know it's a little bit difficult because there's not many big events that happen, just similar to the Infinity Saga. Kind of fumbled the bag on the Ultron thing. Age of Ultron could have been but it does seem like they are combining the Time Runs Out and obviously Secret Wars storylines. So hopefully that goes well. Anyways, with that all being said, let me know in the comments below what you think about this hypothetical saga that I've tried to create. It's only like a rough draft. I mean, I could fully expand on it, but at that point I'd make it into a longer video, and we're already at about 10 plus minutes. At the end of the day, I'm just a random guy who likes to see some cool stuff that he grew up on, read up on, and I'd like to see some good storylines. Let me know in the comments below if you've liked what you saw, or if you didn't, try to make your own little fictional saga. I'm down to hear what thoughts you all have in the comments below. If you comment below, I see you. Every single view on this video right here, barely anybody commented down below. Do me a favor. Just you could even comment the letter O. I don't know. Anyways, I hope you all have a beautiful day, great weekend, great whatever time zone you're in. I hope you all have a good one, okay? Even if it's from here or I don't know, Mars. With that being said, I will see you all in the next video. Bye-bye.